Hey and welcome back to The Revolution and even more WWE 2K20 content, as following the initial drop of this year's cover and trailer reveal, 2K decided to drop even more women's content with an overview of this year's Women's Evolution showcase, as well as a brief look at their models and so much more. To make sure you don't miss out on any of our WWE 2K20 women's content, be sure to hit that bell icon and subscribe to the channel. You can also head on over to our official website revolution.com, where you'll find all of today's info and more. Following yesterday's big reveals, Xavier Woods on behalf of 2K provided fans with a more in-depth look at all the latest 2K20 news, with the women's showcase specifically receiving some serious love. Before we break down the latest news, let's take a look at the video.
This is Xavier Woods here for 2K, and I've got some very exciting news and a lot of knowledge to drop on you all regarding WWE 2K20. Every year we usually start the hype machine by telling you who's on the cover of the game with a snazzy live action trailer, but this year we're giving you so much more, including tons of game info and some early gameplay because you guys all wanted and demanded it. You said, "Tell me about the game, show me the game." Well, get your notepads and your keyboards ready because we're going to do just that right here, right now. Let's start with one of our favorite modes, and that's the 2K Showcase. 2K Showcase is the single-player story mode of the game, where you get to play through a monumental series of events in WWE history. This year, we're going to tell the story of the four horsewomen, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and Bayley, and their role in the women's evolution of WWE. You get to live through that awesome journey told through their own words, using historical WWE footage, some killer cutscenes, and most of all, objective-based gameplay, where your actions will keep the story moving. As you play through, you'll unlock a ton of cool characters, gear, arenas, and so much more. This year, you'll get to create both male and female MyPlayers, and then take them through MyCareer and the journey of a WWE superstar from NXT to WWE and onward. Last year, you journeyed through the multiverse and the Wyatt compound. Who knows what storyline twists and turns and wackiness we'll have in store for you this year. For the first time ever, we will have the Mixed Match Challenge in WWE 2K, where you can make tag teams of male and female WWE superstars and have them square off in the ring against each other. Your favorite modes are all coming back with a mega suite of creation options. The return of the Gauntlet-style 2K towers, including one very special one, Universe, where you can pretty much control every aspect of WWE shows. That's the rosters, the calendars, storylines, and of course, there's going to be, as always, a mega roster of the greatest NXT and WWE superstars, legends, and Hall of Famers that you can play as. But there's one last thing that I've been saving. We're introducing WWE 2K Originals, an all-new series of content that will give you a ton more content after the game comes out. Now, we'll spill the details soon enough, but let's just say it's going to take your favorite WWE superstars and your imaginations to new universes. Okay, the thing everybody wants to know. Who is on the cover of this year's game? It could be a star or stars plural. Well, I'm here to announce that your WWE 2K20 cover superstars are none other than the man and the big dog of WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, Becky Lynch and Roman Reigns. This year's WWE 2K20 Collector's Edition is the SmackDown 20 edition, and it'll include the WWE 2K20 Deluxe Edition jam-packed with bonus digital content and exclusive physical collectibles. So go to WWE.2K.com for all the latest info on all versions of the game and to pre-order today.
As we already know, the theme for this year's showcase is the Women's Evolution, or more importantly, the rise of the four horsewomen in WWE. During the video, it was revealed that those who play through the showcase will unlock a variety of content such as arenas, superstar threads, characters, and so much more, all by completing objective-based missions which document some of the four horsewomen's time, ranging from their time in NXT all the way up to the main roster. It's unknown as to what matches the showcase will feature at the moment, but thanks to a few clips during the video, we can spot several possible inclusions, starting with Becky Lynch vs Sasha Banks from the 2014 October 9th edition of NXT. Following that, we have the infamous NXT Women's Championship match from Sasha Banks and Bayley at NXT TakeOver New York. Up next, Bayley vs Charlotte from the June 5th, 2014 episode of NXT. Following that, we have Sasha Banks vs Ruby Riott from the October 22nd, 2018 episode of Monday Night Raw. Following that, we have the WrestleMania 35 main event, which featured Becky Lynch vs Charlotte Flair vs Ronda Rousey in a winner-takes-all match. Up next, Bayley vs Alexa Bliss vs Mickie James for the Money in the Bank qualifying match from earlier this year. Then, the Bayley vs Charlotte vs Nia Jax match from WrestleMania 33, followed by Sasha Banks vs Ronda Rousey from the Royal Rumble earlier this year, as well as Sasha Banks vs Alexa Bliss from the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. Up next, Sasha Banks, Bayley and Natalya taking on the Riott Squad at the first ever Evolution pay-per-view, followed by Bayley's assault on Sasha Banks on the June 25th edition of Monday Night Raw. Then we have Becky's SmackDown Live Road to Money in the Bank match against Sonya Deville from 2018. And finally, by no means least, Becky Lynch vs Charlotte Flair from Fastlane earlier this year. While I'm sure the majority of these matches won't make the cut in the showcase, they could be used as overarching story points for matches such as the breakdown in friendship between Sasha Banks and Bayley, which later led to the tag team title run as the Boss and Hug Connection. It would also seem that the showcase hints at the possible inclusion of the Evolution Arena, which will come as a sweet bonus for women's wrestling fans looking to create that rumoured Evolution 2 pay-per-view, which is set to take place later this year. The video also showcases all the default models and attires for all four of the horsewomen, with another look of Becky sporting her The Man t-shirt and leather jacket as shown earlier this week. As predicted, both Bayley and Sasha Banks donned the Boss and Hug Connection attires, with Charlotte strutting her stuff to the ring in that Fastlane black and red combo. Not only did we get to see clips of all four of the horsewomen, but we also got our very first sneak peek looks at both Asuka and Nia Jax, who were revealed as part of the revival of the mixed tag team match mode. I have to say, I personally love the women's models so far this year, and I can't wait to see some of the other models over the next coming weeks. While there aren't any major changes to the likes of Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax, Charlotte still looks great nonetheless, and hopefully thanks to the showcase, we'll get a few different versions of Charlotte to play as. As part of the video, we also got a very brief look at the MyCareer mod for 2K20, which was revealed to feature a women's playthrough for the first time ever. Here we can see what looks to be two separate MyCareer players coming together as part of an encounter with Hall of Famer Papa Shango. Since the spot aired, several fans have speculated that the MyCareer mod might not be as straightforward as originally revealed, with players having to control both a male and female superstar as part of MyCareer. Another option could be that at the very start of MyCareer, players are tasked with creating both a male and female superstar, with a pair crossing paths over their career, depending on which you choose to play as. I personally would prefer the latter of the two, as after I said in my previous video, I'm finally looking forward to being able to play as a female in MyCareer. Finally, Xavier Woods gave fans more details on the mysterious Originals mode, showing off some seriously cool concept art, in which this instance sees the WWE Universe swapped out for a horde of zombies. As a huge fan of everything zombie related, this is so freaking cool, and I literally can't wait to play around with, quite literally, The Walking Dead. When I first heard about the Originals world, I had no idea that 2K would be bringing such cool elements as these, and it's great to see them finally step away from that realistic approach for fans looking to crank up the fun factor. Seeing as the game hit stores on October 22nd, and this being the first in what is promised to be a long line of originals, I can't help but wonder if this would be 2K20's Halloween approach, with more seasonal content like Christmas, the 4th of July, Easter and more, all set to take place later on down the line. I for one would love to see the return of the cheesy holiday attires for the women, or even an Elsa costume to fuel my nerdy Disney heart. Having modes like Big Head mode and Block mode last year really helped freshen the game up and give it more longevity compared to those in recent years, and I for one loved entertaining my 3-year-old niece with Big Head versions of both Charlotte Flair and Lacey Evans. I don't quite think I'll be showing her this version of the Originals content, however, as after seeing the Frankenstein and Swamp Thing versions of both Bray Wyatt and Braun, I can't help but feel that she might be a little bit terrified. So that's our breakdown of all the latest 2K20 women's news, with more news teased to be on the way sooner rather than later. To make sure you don't miss out on any of that, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our content. You can also find a breakdown of all of today's WWE 2K20 news and more over on our official website, revolution.com. As always, I've been The Revolution, and I hope you all have an awesome day.